Here's Mike from Mike's Health Coaching. Does anyone remember the show The Biggest Loser? This was put on a while back ago, and there was two trainers on there called Jillian and Bob. Well, they were known to be in great shape, and they would take some of the largest people we know, exercise them well, teach them nutrition, and at the end of the season, the person who lost the most amount of weight would be deemed the biggest loser. So Bob Harper, when he was 51 years old, he was on a treadmill, walking and running. Next thing he knew, he collapsed. He had a massive heart attack. Luckily, there's a cardiologist right beside him who took out the external defibrillator, put it on him, and brought him back to life. He was rushed to the hospital, and he had an emergency stent placed within his body. That's amazing. First of all, that he had this after we all knew that he exercised a lot, and that we all thought he had the best nutrition, and to be able to collapse like that with a sudden heart attack is, you wouldn't even imagine that it's possible. Well, come to find out what he had, what Bob suffers from is an elevated lipoprotein little a, as they call it. It's a type of cholesterol. So we all heard of HDL, LDL. We're always tested for those during our blood test, usually once a year. What has not been tested, and usually you may not have even had it ever tested before, is lipoprotein little a, such as Bob. He never had it tested. And what it is, it's a third form of cholesterol. It's a complex cholesterol molecule which is usually determined by our genetics. Not by our diet, not by our lifestyle, but by genetics. And 30% of the population have an elevated level of lipoprotein little a. It was identified in 1963. What this type of cholesterol molecule does, as it was explained to me, is it's almost like, say within your arteries you have HDL cholesterol, flows nice and smooth, picking up molecules that really cleans up the arteries. What the LDL does is that it works its way through the arteries, and it starts the clogging, or the plaque formations can start. Now the lipoprotein little a is like a concrete truck leaving blobs of concrete along the way, and this is a lot worse than LDL. It's really sticky, and it leads to more heart disease, coronary artery disease, such as heart attacks, a stroke, peripheral artery disease, aortic heart valve disease, and it can also cause heart failure. A lot of the doctors do not test for this because they're not really aware that much of the lipoprotein little a. However, in other countries they test for it all the time. And this is one test that you should get done throughout your lifetime. If you haven't had it done yet, please, I encourage you to get this done, because it can mean as a determination as to how your heart health is and how all of your arteries are doing and functioning. Once tested, if it's over 50 milligrams per deciliter, that's considered elevated. And that's when you should contact your doctor to see what you can do about the elevated lipoprotein little a. Now, the one thing about taking statins will reduce the LDL, but it does not affect the lipoprotein little a. If anything, it can actually raise it a bit. So you have to be careful thinking that if you're taking statins that would lower it. It does not. Now, the statins function is to block the activity of an enzyme produced in the liver that helps form the cholesterol. The statins can reduce the LDL cholesterol by up to 50%, which is great, which it works out well, but it does not affect the lipoprotein little a. Taking a statin, it can actually raise lipoprotein little a by up to 11%. So please just have your lipoprotein little a test the next time you get your blood test done at your physical. And then if it is elevated, you can talk to your doctor about what steps you can take. So for this week, what I'd like you to try and do is for your main meals, cook an extra vegetable. So instead of one, have 2 vegetables. Or a vegetable and some type of grain. So for the grains, brown rice is better than white rice. You can try quinoa, barley, any type of grain. Go check them out in the grocery store. Just pick one and try it. Mix it into the vegetables, some type of sauce. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And try to eat your veggies or the grain before you have your meat product, whether it be meat, chicken, fish. Eat the vegetables first. That way there you may not have to eat as much of the meat, which during a later topic we will discuss the meat and fish. So that's the topics for today. I thank you for listening, and again, from Mike's Health Coaching. Thanks and have a great day.